Hello and welcome to another episode of Who Knew in the Moment, the podcast. Today, I am honored to have Patrick Weah with me. Patrick is a soccer professional. He plays for Minnesota United, and his nickname is the Snake by his teammates. I think that's just because of how good he is and how shifty he is, not because of any questionable decisions. But super excited to highlight his story and how he's gotten to where he's at. So, Patrick, thanks so much for being on today.
Thanks for having me. It's a blessing to be on here and speak to you about me
You betcha, brother.
and my
So,
story.
yeah, so just kicking off your story, you were born in Liberia. So just talk a little bit about growing up in Liberia and in life there.
Yeah, starting up in Liberia, the lifestyle wasn't easy. Obviously, we grew up in like in slums, poverty, where it was hard to
Yeah.
get food to eat. Moms, it was just my mom and two other kids, so it was hard for her to find food for us to eat too. But But other than the war and the stuff, growing up was actually fun. We played soccer, and soccer was a religion there. We played religiously. Uh, if we're not playing soccer, we call it football there. We were talking about it 24/7, and we watched like people actually get really angry and like frustrated when their team lose. It's like a riot over there, especially against a classical. It's
Yeah.
like a parade. If it's a parade there, what you call it, a fiesta. Like it's a party. Like
Yeah.
if your team win, people be on the street celebrating for like 24/7, and that happens in big games like Chelsea versus
Yeah.
Manchester United or like Barcelona versus Real Madrid. It's like that. It's like just a religion there. It's like big. So
Yes. So growing up with siblings and your mom working that hard just to provide, the basic necessities, talk a little bit about how that, created a, work ethic in you and things like that.
yeah, so just seeing my mom waking up and working hard, starting her own business, selling candies and stuff to provide
Okay.
for her family.
Yeah.
That just pushes me hard to work harder because I was a religious person. From a young age, I always believed that I was gonna be successful if you work hard, and I
Yeah.
always been taught that hard work does work. So you're not going, even though you fail, it's not failing. It's just God redirecting you in a different direction so you can
Oh,
become
yeah.
successful in something else. So
That's really good. So you kind of took some things on your own to be able to help provide for the family.
yes.
So talk a little bit about that and just growing up in an environment where you were doing that.
Uh, don't like I have to. Sometimes my mom had to stay at home with my brothers, and I had to sell. And
Yeah.
selling, like just being there out there helping my mom sell candies and stuff,
Yeah.
and like just playing soccer, like helping other people
Mm.
get better, and just being in the community where people look up to you, and like just helping my mom out with the business while she's helping my other brothers out and my other cousins and siblings. It was just a blessing from God.
Yeah. That's amazing. So now, if I understand it correctly, was your dad playing professional soccer?
Uh yeah, my dad was a soccer player, but he did play in the pro league in Liberia, but
Yeah.
professional sports in Liberia do not pay anything. So he was just doing it for the love of the game and the passion,
Yeah.
and he didn't care about the money.
Yeah.
So he was just playing. While he was doing that, my mom was working, providing for the like because in Liberia, like I said, they don't pay anything for soccer, professional sports. So he just did it as just pure out his heart and the passion of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about, yeah, growing a passion for soccer. It sounds like, a lot of your friends, a lot of people in Liberia are just in love with soccer. You've got family that's in love with it. So talk about doing something just out of purely passion for it, opposed to, hey, what can I get from it?
So like that's a great question. Like being like a part of the environment is inevitable to love something. It's like
Yeah.
passion. Like you're just in an environment where people are playing 24/7 and talking about it 24/7. Like it's the quote that say if you hang around the barber shop, soon enough you're gonna get a haircut. So like I was just brought up to play soccer, even though I didn't like it. I was forced to like it, and we're just playing in gravels and like dirts and stuff. We didn't have cleats. It was just children out there running around with a smile on our face, cause that was like an escape. It's like that's why you're not the country. It's like playing soccer. Even
Yeah.
there was like some violence going on, but when we feel united and like togetherness when we play together, and then share our thoughts and like believes in our skills and passion on the field together, that's what brings smile on our faces.
Yes. So you didn't like it right off the bat? Soccer wasn't your thing.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was just focused on staying home, and then and then my friend I got a kind of peer pressure. Let's go play. Let's go play soccer. I was like, I gotta do this. My dad played. He was really good. He's
Yeah.
a lefty. My brother's a lefty. I wish I was a lefty, but I'm a righty.
So as this is transpiring, is there a certain point in time where you start recognizing, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this soccer thing, or I'm pretty competitive amongst my peers or the people I'm playing against?
Yeah. I didn't even know my talent like until like like the first time my friend was like, "Let's go play," like, and then I started playing for fun. I already like I knew how to play, but I never took it seriously.
Yeah.
And then I go there, and then right off the bat, cause like I feel like God blessed me with a talent, and then was showing. He was just told me, "Here's your talent right here. Like
Yeah.
this, is what I'm gonna show you by like which in your friends. I'm gonna bring your friends towards you, and they're gonna like change you to play." And they did, and I recognize I'm good at it, and other people recognize it too. At first, people were telling me that you're good, you're actually good, and I didn't pay any attention to it. And I started, and then I started falling in love with the sport. Ever since, I never looked back and just started playing and improving.
Wow, I love it. So, Patrick, for you then, kind of mid 2000s, you come to the United States and
Uh
talk
huh.
a little bit just about that process. I'm sure there's part of you that's excited about the opportunity, but there's part of you that's probably like, I'm leaving everything that I know. So, talk a little bit about just
Yeah.
that transition to the United States.
So my family was fortunate enough. My grandparents they came way before us.
Hmm.
I was in 2000, and they won a lottery visa to come
Okay.
here. And then after a few years, like the May 2000s, they applied for us to come here. So me and my mom, we had to do interviews, to get pictures taken for our visas and stuff. And then we are just fortunate enough to be like just yeah, we have a big family. We're just
Yeah.
fortunate enough for us to be selected to come here to our grandparents, to my grandparents, my mom parents,
Okay.
and that's how I came here. And then, like you said, it was a lot of changes. It was a lot of changes. Well, like God said, like there's like God said, like he's like not God said, but like God redirect us so we can do something better. So
Yeah.
there's like a redirection for me, but like it wasn't a bad redirection. It's a redirection for my benefit.
Hmm.
And coming to the United States is what everybody wanted to do, what everybody aspired to do. So like when we came here, it was like, yeah, this is what we wanted to do. Come to the United States because of the opportunities. And
Yeah.
if we work hard and stay out of trouble and don't follow bad things and influences, you're gonna be successful. So we're
Mm.
grateful to be in the United States. So yeah,
Yeah. So was your both or you and your siblings and your mom all able to come to the United States?
yeah. But my dad's side and my dad family is over there still.
Okay. So was that a hard piece to, say bye to friends that maybe weren't able to come and family members that weren't able to come?
Um, yes, but at the same time, I was excited. I was
Yeah.
like, it's like Christmas Day, getting presents. It's like this is what we wanted. Like it's like this is what we wanted our whole life to come to the United States, and it was like everybody wants to. Like people will kill over it to come to the United States.
Yeah.
So like, so it was a blessing to be here, and like I'm grateful for it because now so many people get the opportunities to come here. So
Yes. Well, I'm sure as you transition, people probably take notice of the fact that, hey, you're pretty good at this soccer game. And I think, that's one of the beautiful things about sports, right? Is sports can connect you, even if you have nothing else in common. It's like, hey, if you're good at this sport and I'm good at this sport, or I like that sport, we can have an instant connection. So talk a little bit about how soccer helps you, transition into, life in a foreign spot.
Yeah, good question. When I first came here, it's actually funny that you said that sports can like connect you to people that you've never known,
Yeah.
and those people can be a blessing to your life.
Yeah.
So when I first came here, we were on welfare, EBD cars, living in Section 8 apartments. We live in a neighborhood in South Minneapolis where the crime rate was higher than the graduation rate.
Wow.
But yeah, but my parents and my mom has one mindset. If you work hard, like she was doing double shifts, working hard, making sure we got food on the table, but she wasn't making enough money. So that's where we're on EBTs, cars, welfare, and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but when we came here, soccer, when I started playing soccer, my mom didn't let us do all that stuff in the streets and stuff, even though we have people around us doing it, but we were also like focused on being successful and working hard.
Yeah.
So it's just that mindset and the stuff she ingrained in us, like if you do this, you're gonna get this out of it. Like just hard work pays off.
Hmm.
And then my grandma actually signed up us for soccer. We didn't have enough money to sign up for sport. That's one thing the United States had to change. Immature sports, like they have to not let people pay to play. Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of talented kids in the United States that can't afford it. Like
Mm.
when I was growing up. So, but big thanks to this lady named Trina Kramer. She was uh she was our youth organizer. Like she was the, I don't know what job she had at the club, but I think she was the director.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like $200 each to sign up,
Okay.
but she took like $50 from my grandma for both me and my brother.
Wow.
So like, yes, that was nothing. So like, and she helped us a lot. She would bring us food. She would pick us for soccer, and then we started playing for a local club called Urban Stars. And then we play a team from the suburb. This is how I meet somebody that's gonna change my life for the
Yeah.
better and forever. We play the team for suburbs called PSA, and then there's a coach named there, Chat Ogo, and he noticed me and my brother, and we were talented, and then he saw the talent in us. He saw us that he can help us to achieve our full potential. So he took us in. He's like, "Come play for us." Like
Yeah.
recruit at the same time. But during that time, he wanted us to play for him, but he also wanted me to go to school and got so I cannot be in this neighborhood and
Right.
where I didn't even set alarm clock. I just wake up because of gunshots and I just wake up and I'll be scared to go to bed. And then
Yeah.
you hear gunshots too coming to pick us up. So he was like, "You just gonna live with me in the suburbs." And this is my first time being in the suburbs. First time seeing a $1 million house, a big house, and like this is strange, like strange and familiar. This is strange to me.
Yeah.
And then I didn't used to talk, say anything. I just used to be a quiet kid, just staring outside the window.
Yeah.
And just big thanks to him. I went to school at Wayzata High School, and a different parent took my brother, and he went to Hopkins High School, and those
Okay.
were schools in the suburbs. We're getting good education, and
Yeah.
we're also playing varsity soccer. And I stayed with him for 5 to 6 years. He made sure my education was good. He fed me. He made sure my relationship with people was good. It's
Wow.
just like being professional and professionalism too. You make
Yeah.
sure that was good. How you greet people, how you look people in the eyes, how you shake their
Yes.
hands, because those little things matter. And
Yeah.
then after that, been waiting for 5 years. Make sure like Wazata High School is a tough college, but in Liberia, I also like focus on education too. It's education and soccer for my parents. Like they're
Yeah.
hard on like you gotta go to school, you gotta go to school. And then my mom just trusts them because at first she was hesitant, and my auntie was like, "This guy seemed like a good guy. You're trying to help the kid," and
Yeah.
uh, and then he helped him a lot. And then went to school there, then got a scholarship for Weah to go to St. Louis University, and that was his proudest moment with
Yeah.
me going to college.
Yes. So I got to ask you a couple questions on that. I'm sitting
Yeah,
here thinking, all right, you get the opportunity, you're in the US, you're super excited about it.
yeah,
And the only familiar thing for you is mom and family. And then all of a sudden you're now going to go live with a relatively stranger, right? So I mean, a
yeah,
kind of another transition. And once again, we assume at this point he's a good guy, right? That's the hope.
yeah.
That's why we're going to live there. But have you ever talked, or has your mom ever said, was that hard for her, or was her focus just so much on wanting the best opportunity for you and your brother that she said, hey, if that's best, I'm willing to, have him go?
Yes, yes. Like you said, she was everything that was good that's gonna help us and benefit us.
Yeah.
She was all in for that.
Yeah. That's so selfless, but so amazing for her to do that.
Hmm.
So in high school, you start performing really well. And I think it's your junior year, you guys end up being the state runner up. Is
No,
that no?
no. My freshman year we were still running up, and my sophomore year we won state.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about freshman year being state runner up. I always think that it's such an interesting balance because part of you is like super excited that you made it to the state championship and you had that opportunity. The other part of you, if you're a competitive athlete, which you're pissed off, right? You're like, oh man, we
Yeah,
got that close, and then we ended up losing in the championship game. What? So
and
talk
then
a little.
we played the same team the next year in the same championship game, and we were not gonna lose that.
No, so yeah,
uh,
so talk a little bit about just the fire that created, of
yeah,
the losing in a championship game, and all right, now I need to, really focus in.
yeah. I remember that game. Like it wasn't so much about me. It was more about the seniors, like
Yeah.
our leadership group that was leaving next season. So I felt that I owed them something, that I had to
Mm.
do it for them the next year. So I was given a trophy, like I'm not a personal, like, oh yeah, it's your word, personal achievement. That's not for me.
Yeah.
So they gave me the trophy. I actually gave it to one of the seniors, like one of the leaders on our team. I was like, but you deserve it more than me. I don't deserve it right now. I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
And I yeah, and I was like, I promise you I'm gonna win a championship trophy for you. And I go, and the next year, everything I did, and I had that drive because it wasn't for myself.
Yes.
It's not because of, like, if it was for me, I wouldn't have pushed myself hard to do it. If it was somebody else, it's like that's my why. And like looking at them like I gotta do this. I can't not do this. And then
Uh,
the next year I just worked really hard with my teammates, listening to coaches. Our coaches was really good. We had a good returning people, like group of guys coming back, and we went undefeated that season and won state.
Yes. So I want to highlight what you just said because I think that's so important and so pivotal. And that is when you have a why that's bigger than just yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
When you've got some other something that's really fueling you, I think that is something that we lack sometimes. And it causes us to not just push as hard as we can or causes us to
Yeah.
not do everything we can. So talk just a bit about that for you, whether it's the why of being from Liberia and getting feeling like I've got this opportunity, I want to make the most of it, or the why of the senior class didn't get a championship, so I want to win one for them. Just talk about that
Yeah.
and how it's impacted your life.
It's just living on a why. Like, for example, me coming from Liberia, of like of so many people that could have came here, and I was chosen to come here. I was
Yeah.
so fortunate enough for my grandparents to want a lottery visa. So I'm like, when I play and do stuff, I do it for people that could have been here, that could have. So I'm not like saying that, so they don't look at me and be like I could do better. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing it for them. So like I try to show my passion to soccer for them, so they
Yes.
can feel happy, so they can feel good. If I win, and win or lose, as long as somebody else feels good about it and not me, I'm proud of myself. As long as I do it for somebody and they take something out of it and they appreciate it and they like love what I do, like I don't do it for me, doing it because I want to personal achievements. I do, like you said, for a why. Like another why was my family. My mom, just looking at my mom working hard too, double shifts at night, not having time to see us, and just pull her head down and keep working. I don't blame her for that. That's what she had to do. But
Yep.
I'm grateful for her too. It's just having that why. It pushes you, it gives you an extra gear, extra gas tank, and you
Yeah.
just got to makes you work way harder than you, like you said, if you were doing it for yourself.
That's so good. So, like you mentioned, you said, "Hey, I progressed. I had a good, high school career, and that gave me an opportunity to pursue a college career." So, just talk a little bit about what went into your decision-making process and how you end up picking St. Louis U to go there.
Yeah, St. Louis was the quickest decision because unfortunately, junior year I tore my ACL. I believe so. Yeah, junior year I tore one of my ACL. The first ACL I tore my ACL, and then that year I didn't play. I just do some recovery stuff. And
Yeah.
then senior year I went to Minnesota United Academy,
Mm.
DA, and then played in there for 7 months.
Okay.
And they were going to sign me. It's funny because when we went to showcases, my coach was telling coaches that I wasn't going to play. I was not going to play college. I was going to sign professionally. My
Yeah.
academy coach. And then COVID hits, like uncontrollables hits. We can't control what we can't control because it's COVID-19. We can't control that.
Right.
And it hit, and the club wasn't making enough revenue. So I said they wanted me to go to college for a year, and then I had to pick a college because I didn't know. And then I had some good people helping me out with colleges. Like I didn't sign with no agency at that point, but I was working with agencies, not agencies, but whatchamacallit, people that knows, like they have connections with colleges. So they
Yeah.
would help. They were just texting colleges like, Patrick is not going to sign pro this year. So can you come here and play? And then it was University of Virginia, Portland, it was Clemson, UCLA. And then well, all that schools, SLU just seemed the best. I resonate with the coaches better. I love the style of play. It's a good culture there. So, and this year they actually got 6 or 7 players drafted into the MLS draft, and just being part of that wave is a blessing. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I chose SLU.
Absolutely. Now, talk a little bit about your time at SLU. It was not a long-lived thing.
No, COVID-19 hits. It was still during COVID, but we
Yeah.
don't know if we didn't actually know if we're gonna have a season.
Yeah.
So we were just scrimmaging and practicing, and then we didn't have a season that fall season. And then the spring season came, so I only did one semester there,
Yeah.
and then I played 3 games, and then I left because we came to a conclusion that was going to be a better decision for me. So
Yes. So talk about that day where I want to rewind a little bit to talk about joining the Minnesota United club team and just
yeah,
talk about, because I mean, that's obviously an indicator that, hey, you've got the opportunity or potential to play, right?
yeah,
Major league. So just talk a little bit about that. I mean, did it even set in at that age, or was it like, this is a cool thing, but I'm not
yeah, yeah.
focused too far ahead.
At a young age, my confidence is really high. I always knew that I can play at that level.
Yeah.
And I'll be watching the game. I'd be like, I can do this. I can play this. I go watch the game. And
Yes.
I was I, I was actually training with the first team doing the academy,
Yeah.
and then just being there, feeling the moment, I was like, I can do this. And then I just the confidence, my competitiveness, saying that I can compete with these guys. I'm as good or even better than these guys, but
Yeah.
in the humble way.
Yeah.
Just like
Well, so
yeah,
talk about that, because I think there's a fine line, right?
yeah,
Of the arrogant cockiness and
yeah,
the humble confidence.
yeah,
And you do need to be confident, because at the end of
yeah,
the day, if you don't believe in yourself, there's a whole bunch of people that also don't believe in you. So if
yeah.
you don't, it's going to be really tough. But just talk about that. Talk about just confidence in yourself, and just know that however you say it, it's not going to be cocky, because we already put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, cause I just grew up in where like in the environments like me versus you. If I'm competing against you, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like it's just stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like you're not gonna outwork me, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a competitor, you're a competitor, and it's just like competing. It's just
Yes.
like if somebody punch you in the mouth, you punch them back. That's the mentality. Yeah, and then that just took me far, and I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn, and I still got like places I want to be. I'm not even close to my full potential yet. I just gotta keep working.
I love it. Now, my guess is part of that competitive drive and that, hey, I want to kick your ass probably comes from having a brother that you were competing against.
Yeah, me and my brother always been so close.
Yeah.
Like it was always a competition between us two. Like you have a group of friends that say he's better. You got a group of people that say I'm better, and then you got chat Ogo that brought us both in. That'd be like they're both different. They play differently, and it was like just like that competitive spirit between us. It's like if you score 2 goals, we're on the same team. I gotta score 2. I gotta score 3. If you get this much assist, I gotta get that much assist. I gotta be better than him this game. It's just how
Yes.
we push each other that competitive edge. And then we had our chat son named Jake was in between us. He kept us together. And, because you would get mad at each other too. He was just the leader of the team. Like we need to work together to win. So
Yes. Now, in the high school, did you guys get to play against each other at
yes,
all?
yes, we did. Actually, we did. My
How did
my
those go?
school,
How did those go? I want to hear a little bit about that.
we won every game we play against them. So
Let's go.
yeah, we won every game we play against them. It's because our school, it's a big school, bigger school than hit their school, so we got more kids. It was just him on his team, but it was me. It was 11 players on my team for just him. So
Yeah.
like it was hard to compete against that.
Absolutely. So as you end up leaving SLU, once again, we're signing with Minnesota United. Um, Give me a rundown of how that comes to be, and what that day was like.
it it didn't feel anything. To be honest, It didn't feel so real to me because my whole life I've been rehearsing that in my head. That
Yes.
situation of it. I didn't know it was gonna be Minnesota. I just rehearsed that and just forward think of me being in that situation. So when I
Yeah.
got there, it's like it's normal because it's the power of the mind. It's like the
Yes.
mind's so powerful. It's like meditation, imagination, visualization. It's like when you're there, you're just there,
Yeah.
like it's like okay, it's finally happened. It's like thank God, like bring credit to God it happened. And now
Yes.
the real hard work really starts.
Yes. I always think everything in our life happens twice. First in our mind, second in, practice,
Yeah.
right? Or we actually do it. So I love that you said that. Now, speaking of God, you have picked a specific jersey number for a specific reason. So talk a little bit about your jersey number and where that comes from.
uh it came from the Bible scripture, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. It says, for I know the plans I have for you, declare the Lord, plans to prosper you, plans to not harm you, and plans to give you hope in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just that, and actually a story. And then I told my equipment manager to write down my boots. And during that week of practice, I tore my ACL. And I was like, that's God redirecting me again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about, you know, injuries. Obviously, you've had those injury setbacks, but not allowing that to prevent you from getting better, right? I think so often you hear of the athlete that has the injury, and that's the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Versus the athlete like yourself, who I had an injury, but I still have persevered, and I've gotten even better since that. So, just talk a little bit about that mindset for you and how you've been able to overcome those hurdles, those setbacks.
No, I just been always wanting to be in the gym and just working. So it gave me a drive. Like it
Yeah.
gave me a dopamine rush. And it just gave me extra thing to like, it makes me appreciate what I had.
Yeah.
more. It's
Yes.
like it's a good thing. Bad things happen to you, good things, so you can appreciate the good things that are in your life.
Mm.
So like just being in the gym and just working hard, it gives me the extra drive to come back, the extra motivation. It makes me work harder too, and it pushes me hard. So
Yes. That's so good. So talk a little bit about United States soccer. Obviously, here in the United States, we're a little bit behind the ball. Soccer just hasn't been like the preeminent sport, right? We've got basketball, football, baseball. Those are kind of like the top three, and then soccer's down a ways. But talk a little bit about MLS and everything that goes into what it is here in the United States.
uh the MLS Major League Soccer, I think it's growing, has grown in the past, and
Yeah,
is keep on growing. I think out of all of the sports in the United States, I think it's growing the most in the past couple of years.
yeah,
And the World Cup coming here too soon. It's gonna be even more, like it's gonna grow even more.
yeah.
And just like you said, soccer hasn't been in the United States for a long time, like all these sports.
Yep.
So people are like traditionally and really like know that football, even Minnesota is hockey too. But
Yes.
like these sports have been here for a longer period of time, so they're used to it.
Yep.
See, so like it's just like human nature. A lot of people don't like doing something that's new.
Yes.
They don't want to go to something that's new. They want to stick to the old tradition stuff. So soccer is gonna grow. I think it's gonna get big. And I just, if they can change the pay to play stuff and like let a lot of people that can't afford it to play,
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to compete with the rest of the world because there are a lot of talent in the United States
Yes. I
compared
love
to other
it.
countries. Yeah.
I love it. Now, just talking about growing your skills, right? Obviously you've had great mentors, you've had great people in your life that knew how to play the game. But at the same token, you can know all of those things. You can know what you have to do, but Patrick still has to be the one that goes and does it. So, talk about just, the great mentors you've had and how that's helped develop you and where you've gotten to.
It just like when I even growing up in Liberia, I would go play with my dad and his friends. So I always been the low kid playing with the big guys. And then my
Yeah.
dad said, express yourself. Like if you watch my videos, I'm that type of player that love to entertain. And I got that from my dad. It's like the skill moves, the flicks, the trickery.
Yeah.
That's who I am as a player. And I was also inspired by the Brazilian way of playing, like the Ronaldinho of football, the Ronaldos, the Kaká, the Robinhos, like those type of players, Rivalio, those type of players I looked up to watching the Brazilian soccer play. Because my country, we never made it to the World Cup, so we had to pick a team.
Yeah.
So my dad, my family side, we always enjoyed the Brazilian style of play, and just watching that was like kind of a mentorship and inspiration at the same time. And my dad too, my dad being there is the biggest part. So and
I,
then uh and then just being here, just watching videos and mimicking people that you like to watch play, and then practicing the skills, rehearsing the skills in your living room, in Chad's living room over and over, and then imagining there's a defender there, and then
yeah.
just like visualizing that you're in the game and you're doing it, and that's how you master your skills, and that's how you improve. But still got a lot of ways to go and a lot to improve. So
I love it, man. I love it. So, last kind of question for you then is, are there any other pivotal moments that we haven't talked about that as you really reflect on your story, stick out to you and you say, well, thank God that happened because it's led me to this?
uh that's a good question. I would say maybe this injury right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this injury right now causes like refocuses my mind. And like you gotta appreciate what you have because you can lose it at any time. So you never know. So like just make you appreciate stuff more. Appreciate the game more. And
Yes.
be so it's just appreciation of the game and taking it more seriously and more as a profession. you're not a kid anymore. It says it make you mature even a lot. You're not a kid no more. You cannot be eating Pop Tarts with your friends. Like I'm that type of person that like they'll say my dad, I say my white dad, I was about to say that. Yeah, Chad, he told me that I'm not normal anymore. I can't be hanging out around with my friends and going to go and eat hot Cheetos. I can't be doing that anymore. I can be
Right.
eating salad. We can be eating like Krispy Kreme or what's the restaurant called we went to a lot? Chick-fil-A. We can't be
Yeah.
doing that. We can't be doing that anymore. So yeah, that's what that makes me like. It make me see that because
Yeah.
nutrition is a very significant part of your recovery and how your body works too.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Patrick, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and just the pivotal moments. I mean, I love hearing you talk about growing up. I didn't even like soccer, but I was convinced by my friends that it was it was the thing that I was supposed to like. And so I started playing and watching my dad and then coming to the United States and then, having the lady paid the $50 so you and your brother could play and me and Chad and everything that's led to where you're at. I'm so excited for you and your future and just the amazing things that are going to come, and can't wait to just continue to watch the story unfold and everything you're going to do.
Thanks for having me. It was a blessing to be on this podcast. Frederick, that's your name, right? Frederick?
Yep.
Phil
Phil
Frederick.
Friedrich. Yep. Yeah.
Friedrich. I said
Yeah.
it wrong.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was a blessing talking to you. I appreciate you.